Welcome back to our special New Year's edition of Special Report. Here again, our panel for tonight. Steve Hayes, senior writer for the Weekly Standard. A.B. Stoddard, associate editor of The Hill, and syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer. Well, as Americans remembered their war dead on Memorial Day, North Korea's latest bellicose act brought global condemnation. The North Koreans said they had successfully conducted a new round of underground nuclear testing. President Obama called it a threat to international peace. What about the North Korea situation? Steve.
Well, back in the campaign, there was this tense exchange between President Obama and his now Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, on the question of engaging dictators and engaging rogue states. And certainly one of the people that was at the center of this exchange was Kim Jong-il. The president made a commitment to engage dictators, and that's exactly what he's done. I don't think he's done it very successfully. What we've seen is a series, not just one provocation, a series of provocations from the North Korea, one after another, and a series of overtures by the Obama administration, sometimes as if these are in concert with one another. A culmination of back and forth that ended with this final meeting just in recent weeks of the U.S. envoy, Stephen Bosworth, meeting with his North Korean counterpart in public, bilateral meeting, which I think was a tremendous boost to the legitimacy of an illegitimate, criminal, and corrupt regime. If you had to judge after the first year, North Korea is winning this round of diplomacy.
June 11th, the World Health Organization raises its pandemic alert to its highest level, declaring that the H1N1 flu pandemic is underway. Beneath the headline, the WHO said that the alert reflected the geographic spread of the virus and that its severity was moderate. A big fish got caught in New York. Bernard Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison on June 29th. Madoff pleaded guilty to what is believed to be Wall Street's biggest ever investment fraud case of up to $65 billion. The health care reform effort really picked up steam over the summer. On the night of Friday, July 31st, House Democrats pushed a reform bill through the key Energy and Commerce Committee.
You want to be let out of here, you're welcome to go.
Meanwhile, all across the country, you remember this, emotions flared at town hall meetings, often featuring Democratic lawmakers trying to defend health care reform to outraged constituents. One Democratic lawmaker refused to hold any meetings, citing what he called a lynch mob mentality at town halls. On November 7th, the House passed its health care reform bill, and on Christmas Eve day, the Senate followed suit. That's our third top story for 2009, sure to carry over and be a topic of a lot of discussion this year as well. We're back with the panel. Charles, healthcare reform appears to be on a track to the president's desk.
And I think for him it's a great achievement. It's a great accomplishment. There was a lot of criticism of him, which we heard earlier in the show actually, that he contracted out the big stuff. And he let the Pelosi and Reid dictate what was going to be in the bills. He did that on stimulus, but he got a stimulus. And he did it on health care, and he got health care, as opposed to the Clinton administration, which attempted writing it in the White House. It didn't succeed.
You say he got it, but I mean, they still have to go through conference. You don't think that's going to be a problem?
No, I think in the end it will pass. I can't imagine that the left will sink this. And the reason is that for the left and for people who believe in national health care, this is an unbelievable success. The absence of a public option is totally irrelevant. The bottom line of the bill is this. The federal government is seizing control of a sixth of the American economy through unbelievable amounts of regulation. The insurers are going to make money, but the insurers are going to be a proxy under complete control of the federal government with no independent action. They're going to essentially be changed into a utility, like the power company. And that means that it won't be a direct control of the feds, but it'll be indirect, which is something you would not have imagined, but that's going to happen. And then over time, you can amend the legislation and make it look a little more like what you have in Canada or in England. But as of now, it's a tremendous achievement of the left.
A.B.?
Yes, it was interesting to see Democrats through this battle fight for a government health care program and then lose that battle. But as it passed through both chambers at the end of the year, they were all talking like commencement speakers today is not an end. Today is a beginning. Charles is right. It is a starting point for what the Liberals hope will be eventually a government plan. They don't have the votes for it now. I don't think they'll have it in the next 5 or 10 years, but they can continue to believe that. It is a legislative accomplishment, and I think that for the Democrats, who will have to spend the rest of this new year before the midterm elections selling this very hard-to-sell plan that public support is very weak for, and the benefits of which will not kick in for many years after taxes and other pain begins. Alternatively, if they had failed to pass this, I think it would have damaged the party for generations. I just think that they made the right calculation, that the failure to govern after all of those promises would have been devastating.
Steve, as late as Christmas week, Republicans were talking about, eventually changing this or taking or stripping it out, and Democrats are saying we've built this so it's here in perpetuity, essentially, at least elements of it that need 2/3 or 3/4 vote. I mean, it's pretty substantial when you look at it.
Well, it is. And look, if you look back at the history of the growth of government, particularly in the last century, what you have usually is a starting point, a legislative starting point, and then massive expansions bureaucratically. And what this will have is an accompanying bureaucracy that will grow and grow and grow as people try to figure out how this monstrosity, we should not delude ourselves. I mean, this is, in effect, a takeover of 1/6 of the U.S. economy. The government will be directing it maybe more than running it at this point. But that is what this is. You have to have corresponding bureaucracies in order to make that happen. And that is where I think you'll see the dramatic growth in government. Republicans, I think, are smart at this point, given the politics of this, to campaign on repealing whatever it is that's repealable in this bill. We'll see if they're successful.
One word answer down the row: winner or loser for Democrats in 2010?
Total loser.
Likely a loser.
A big loser.
Okay. As our special look back at 2009 rolls on, a history-making woman decides to quit her job.